There's a kind of tired no one sees. You smile, you show up, but deep down, you're not there, not really. You move through life, but it's like watching someone else play your part. When did that begin? When did you stop feeling joy or pain or anything at all? The numbness creeps in slowly. At first it's protection, but then it becomes a prison. One day you wake up and realize you've been surviving instead of living. You scroll instead of speak, eat instead of feel, sleep instead of face a mirror. It's not that you're weak, it's not that you're tired. It is what most people never tell you. That numbness isn't the end, it's the signal. It's the moment right before the rise, because buried underneath all the silence is the part of you that still wants more. So ask yourself, who would I be if I stopped settling? What would happen if I took back control? You've been in the shadows long enough. This moment right here, this is awareness. It's the first crack of light. There's a voice we've all heard. It sounds reasonable, calm, even kind. It says, not today, you'll start tomorrow. You're not ready yet. Later will be easier. But later is a lie. It's the softest kind of self-destruction. The kind that feels safe because it doesn't look like quitting. Procrastination isn't laziness, it's fear, dressed up as logic. Fear of failing, fear of starting. Fear of seeing who you really are when all the excuses are gone. How many times have you said, I'll start Monday? And how many Mondays have come and gone? You're not stuck because you don't know what to do. You're stuck because you're afraid to start. Because starting means change, and change demands pain. But so does staying the same. So ask yourself, what has later already stolen from me? Time, health, self-respect. How much more are you willing to give? You don't need a plan to be perfect. No more deals with later. No more comfort in the shadows. This is the moment you stop negotiating with fear and start reclaiming your life. First time you walk into the gym, you feel like everybody's watching, like you don't belong, like you're a fraud. Compare your beginning to their peak and you think, what am I even doing here? Is this a joke? The only joke is believing that staying in the shadows is safer. Of course it feels awkward, of course. You feel weak. That's what starting looks like. Nobody tells you how heavy the first step is, how loud your doubts get right before you prove them wrong. See people with perfect form, sculpted bodies, quiet confidence. You don't see their day one. You don't see the fear they had to fight. To ask yourself, how long will you keep choosing comfort over growth? How many more years will you wait to feel ready? You don't need to be strong to begin. You get strong because you begin. So let them look, let them judge. They don't know the battles you've already fought, so just walk through the door. This is how the shadows break. One step, one rep, one uncomfortable choice at a time. The best part of the gym isn't where you prove yourself. It's where you build yourself. So keep walking in, even when it feels stupid. Because someday soon you'll look back and realize that first step was the most powerful one you ever took. We don't just eat for fuel, we eat for comfort, for distraction, for silence when life gets loud. Tell yourself it's no big deal, just a snack, just something quick. You've had a hard day, you deserve it, right? But somewhere along the way, food stopped being fuel and became an escape. From stress, from sadness, from boredom, from yourself. Don't talk about it, you just feel it. In your energy, in your skin, in your gut, in the mirror. To ask yourself, what am I really feeding? Hunger or something deeper? Because deep down you know the truth. Temporary comfort comes with a long-term cost. And it's not just about weight, it's about control, discipline, and self-respect. The food industry doesn't want you healthy. They want you addicted, foggy, tired, and obedient. You're not a slave to cravings. You're not doomed by your past. You have a say what goes in your body and who you become because of it. So don't aim for perfection. Aim for honesty. Ask before every bite, will this move me closer or pull me deeper into the shadows? You already know the answer. You always have. You keep hearing the same voice in your head. This isn't me. I've never been consistent. I always fall back. This is just who I am. But let me ask you something. I told you that. And why did you believe it? See, the shadows don't just hide us, they define us, if we let them. You lived years under an identity built from mistakes, from failures, from what hurts you. But identity isn't fixed, it's chosen. And every choice you make now is a vote for the person you're becoming. You're not lazy. You're tired of lying to yourself. You're not weak. You just never gave yourself permission to rise. So ask yourself, what if I'm not broken, just buried? What if the old me was just a starting point, not a life sentence? Every rep, every walk, every clean meal, every time you say no to what's easy and yes to what's real, you're rewriting your identity. Not overnight, but undeniably. You'll still hear the old voice. It'll whisper, you're not this person. But you don't have to argue. You just have to keep showing up, because one day soon, you won't recognize the shadows. You'll only see the one who rose through them. Look around. The world feels different now, doesn't it? Quieter, sharper, cleaner. But it's not the world that changed this year. You stopped hiding, stopped waiting, stopped feeding the lie that said, this is all you'll ever be. You got uncomfortable, you got honest, you got hurt, you kept going, and now you're standing in the lights. No, not every day is easy. Yes, the voice of doubt still tries to visit, but it doesn't live in here anymore. You felt the pull of comfort, chose growth. You stared your cravings, your laziness, your excuses in the face and said, not today. You didn't just break habits, you broke chains. So ask yourself, what do I protect now that I've escaped the shadows? Your time, your energy, your self-worth. Because the real victory isn't just changing your body, it's changing your story. You're not just someone who trains, you're someone who transformed. And that shadow version of you, still there, still watching, but powerless now, because you finally chose to live like the person you were always meant to be. You thought you were done with this. You thought the cravings were gone, the old habits buried, the doubt defeated. But one rough day, one missed workout, one binge, and suddenly, the shadows are back knocking. And the voice returns, see, you haven't changed. It's just a phase. I'll never stick with it. But that voice is a liar. You haven't failed. You're just human. This is what no one tells you. Even healed wounds ache in the cold. Even strong people fall and rise again. So the question isn't, did I fall? It's, will I stand back up smarter? Will you look at the relapse and learn? Or use it as another excuse to quit? Because the light you've built is real. It's yours. But it needs to be defended every single day. So next time you slip, don't stay down. Return to your routines. Return to your reasons. And return to the truth. You've been in the shadows before. And you know the way out. This time you're not crawling, charging forward. Because rising once makes you stronger. Rising again makes you unstoppable.